A warm round of applause once again. The Kano is right. Do not leave this session. Surely do not leave this ground without testing Ugandan food. And thank you once again, Kano Alan Chitanda, who's the Director, Strategic Intelligence and Officer in charge of the youth in the Army, and that is in the Republic of Uganda. Of course, today we're talking about empowering young people and women for more inclusive agri-food systems as we look to transform the agriculture sector in Africa or across the entire continent. Now, before we move on to our next speaker, I would like to mention something very, very important. Now, she's here as a special guest of the President of the Republic of Uganda, that is His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And she's not just in Uganda to visit, but she's here to invest and do a lot of work in creating capacity and also empowering the young people of this nation. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm round of applause to Ms. Stephanie Urchick, who's the Rotary International President. Today she honors us with her presence and her wisdom. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. John Hemingway once said, "If I have ever seen magic, it has been in Africa." And I have been here for several days, and I have witnessed this here in Uganda, where I began my African magical tour. After Uganda, I will head to Kenya, Senegal, Tunisia, and Egypt. Today, I'm honored to address the ministers from different African continents and delegates who are here at this special seminar. Delegates and ministers, please convey our gratitude to your respective governments for serving as strategic partners in our mission, our Rotary mission of service above self, and for providing resources that support our 7 areas of focus. Those 7 areas of focus are promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, saving mothers and children, supporting education, growing local economies, and protecting the environment. And just yesterday, I had the opportunity to protect our environment by initiating a peace forest at the Ngamba Chimpanzee Sanctuary, where we planted trees to commemorate the visit. And they were fruit trees, avocado, and half of them were planted by women. So I truly commend your support for Rotary's advocacy for diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, making it easier for us to collaborate for a common purpose. And that common purpose, of course, is empowering our young people and women in agribusiness so that we can leverage peace and resilience in Africa's agri-food systems. So this topic integrates Rotary International's peace-building efforts with the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program because there's a focus on sustainable agriculture and food security, a passion that both organizations believe in. And it also emphasizes the pivotal role of women and young people as drivers of innovation and productivity in agribusiness. It highlights the challenges and opportunities that are presented by forced migration, because it helps us showcase how inclusive approaches can transform our agri-food systems into engines of economic empowerment and societal resilience. So let me talk about 3 special categories. First, about women and young people being catalysts for change. At Rotary, we have many Rotary-supported initiatives that empower women and youth in agribusiness. But I want to talk about a very special one that has just happened. It is our most recent program of scale. You know, Rotary, since we initiated our foundation years ago in the 50s, have had matching grants, which were small and wonderful ways that Rotarians could work on problems in agriculture or anything, water, sanitation. Then we moved to matching grants, which they were a bit higher. But now we have something called programs of scale. Millions of dollars invested in programs that are sustainable. Our most recent program of scale was awarded for a program called Partners for Water Access and Better Harvests. This is a 5-year evidence-based program that was designed to improve livelihoods of over 60,000 rural farmers across 4 states in India. And those farmers, in addition to men, include women and young people. Through implementing sustainable agriculture and water management practices, they realize that this is a program that helps a community grow. Farming communities gain knowledge and skills in resilient agriculture practices, such as drip irrigation, layered cropping, and fruit tree cultivation. The program also uses rainwater harvesting, such as check dams and retention ponds, to increase the groundwater availability for farmers by 40%. So what that's doing is improving crop yield. It's providing more food. We also have many other programs that are smaller. Rotary clubs around the world do the same thing. They look at a community or a society of communities and say, what can we make better? So we have sustainable advancements in agribusiness that happen all over the world. Things like feed mills that provide for cattle health and increased milk production. We have hydroponic and vertical farming. We have sensors and control systems that optimize the growing conditions. So there are many ways that Rotary clubs and Rotary districts and Rotary zones contribute to the health of a community and to women and young people who are engaged in agribusiness. The second thing I want to comment on is the forced migration and what we do to integrate people into agribusiness. Uganda has a worldwide reputation as being a model for refugee hosting. Nearly 1.7 million refugees at last count are hosted here, the highest in Africa. In addition to hosting, that offer also includes free access to a plot of land in addition to public services. So refugees become a part of a solution to food production and economic independence. Rotary, in other parts of the world, of course, also gets involved in refugee support. The most recent example that you are probably all aware of is in the conflict that's happening in Ukraine. Millions of people have been displaced outside of Ukraine as well as internal displacement. And there are many, many, many Rotary clubs who have come to the forefront to help those refugees figure out how to find livelihood. You may know that Ukraine is often referred to as the breadbasket of Europe because agriculture is an important economic component there. So those refugees who have fled have skills in farming, and agriculture. And so when they are relocated in other places, they turn to those skills as a way to continue their economic independence. I want to tell you a special story about a community in Minnesota in the United States, in Minneapolis. Minneapolis happens to be a place where very many Afghan refugees have relocated. The local Rotary formed a Rotary Community Corps. And one of the prime things that that corps did was take the Minnesota driving manual and translate it into Pashto so that the local Afghans could use it to learn about driving, to take the Minnesota State Driver's Test, receive a license, and therefore find a way to get to employment. So you see, Rotary is always engaged in looking at ways to help refugees in a variety of places around the world. The final thing I want to comment on is Rotary's involvement in peace as a foundation for sustainable development. You know, we talk about peace building quite a bit in Rotary, and I want to make it clear to you that that does not mean we are peace brokers. We don't stop wars. What we do is create the environments that are necessary for a peaceful environment. If people are hungry, we go in and provide the food they need. If people lack clean water, we provide access to clean water. Because when people are desperate, they do desperate things. So as Rotarians, we recognize the importance of creating conditions that allow a peaceful society. Just a few hours ago, I happened to have an opportunity to be at Makerere University for the capstone conference presented by the newest class of people who are graduating from the Rotary Peace Center at Makerere. And there was a project that caught my attention, one of many, a young man who had put a program together. It was a drilling initiative for a disabled farmer to mitigate climate change impacts in his village. In other words, the farmer would plant crops, and because of lack of water and irrigation, they didn't make it. They died. So because of this project, with the drilling initiative and the borehole, water was now getting to the plants, and the farmer had a very lush and green crop. This is an example of how young people in our peace programs think about ways that they can invest in local economies and help people who are struggling or who have difficulties making it on their own. And he's just one example. We have 6 peace centers around the globe. We have graduated 1,800 of these young people who are doing the very same thing, looking for ways to make a change in their community. So my call to action for all of you this afternoon is to think about Rotary as a partner. There are many partners that Rotary has, and there are many stakeholders that work with us. Our most shining example, of course, is the partnership we have to end polio around the globe. That's a project that we started in the mid-1980s. We made a promise to children of the world that we would get rid of that disease. And when we started that project, polio, wild polio, was rampant in over 125 countries. And now it is only in 2. That is not even the whole country. It's the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, which is a very difficult place to reach because of the geography and the political climate. But we will work on it. We will not give up. Polio will be gone. It's not a matter of if Rotary will get the job done. It's when Rotary will get the job done. So I tell you that because we have a resilience and a persistence. So when you think about programs, for engaging young people, engaging women, helping them in agribusiness. Rotary is a strong partner because of that persistence and resilience. So Rotary International can be a valuable partner to address Africa's pressing challenges, and there's a transformative power of peace, which we believe in, inclusion, which we believe in, and collaboration, which we believe in. This year, all Rotarians are working with the theme, in addition to service above self, which is our motto, we're working with the theme of the magic of Rotary. When you partner with Rotary, you see magic happen, because Rotarians unite with our partners to create lasting change around the globe, in our communities, and always in ourselves. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate your time. Enjoy your afternoon.